Well, we are so grateful to be here with Tom Smith, who is the Executive Director of Travel Ministry at Educational Opportunities, and has just been tremendous in helping us put together some other options for our cruise in October of 2024. I'm Brian Erickson at Trinity United Methodist, and also with us is Stephanie Arnold, Senior Pastor at First United Methodist Church of Birmingham. And we just wanted to hear from you, Tom, about some of these new options that are available to us for our group that's trying to bring some churches from North Alabama annual conference together over there in October of 24.
Yeah, well, thanks, Brian. Thanks for having me here today. Stephanie, thanks for being with us. I really appreciate the opportunity to see both of you, and traveled many times with Brian, and looking forward, Stephanie, to get to travel with you in the near future. But we're excited about this at EO. First of all, we apologize because of the fact that the itinerary changed. It was out of our control. They took away Israel. None of the cruise lines are going to Israel in 2024. So we are changing a lot of cruises right now for people to try to adjust. And we really appreciate everyone's flexibility and understanding of that. And we're really excited to offer you this, what I think is a marvelous option for you to choose from if you'd like to do that. And it's a combination. It's going to take in Egypt, which is part of what you had before, and it's going to add some other things there to it. And it's on the Azamara Pursuit. It's a very boutique cruise line, Brian, as we were talking. You've been on the Azamara Onward. They're great ships. They're smaller ships than a lot of people will normally think of. I mean, when you see the new ships coming out like the Royal Caribbean Icon and the Getaway on Norwegian and stuff. I mean, you're talking 5,000 passengers there. Nothing like that. So Azamara is a smaller line that has very upscale, all-inclusive touring and sailings, cruises there. So it's going to be really exciting. We're working on a couple of options for pre-tours. Brian, Stephanie, and I are talking about those, and hopefully in the next few days after the first of the year, maybe we'll be able to get everything nailed down on that. But we're trying to see if we can offer a pre-tour to Jordan for you, and then we're exploring with Stephanie a pre-tour to Greece and other sites there possibly. So we'll continue to flesh those out, Brian, so you guys can share those when those details become available. As the cruise stands right now, we do offer a Rome post tour. And so that's a great opportunity for people who want to extend that. Maybe you've never been to Rome, and so we would simply fly you to Rome after the cruise ended. So the trip itself starts. You'll be leaving there. You'll go to Cairo. If you've not been to Cairo, it's a fast-paced city. First time I went, Brian, have you been to Cairo yet, Brian?
I've not been to Cairo. I'm really excited.
Okay, so the first time I went, we landed, got on the bus, started to the hotel, and this was right after COVID. And I had been told that they always provide an escort with you from the airport to the hotel. That's just the way Egypt does things. Well, we were, I guess, like the only Americans in the whole country. And so instead of having one police car that pulled in behind us with its lights and sirens going, we must have had like 10 in front of us and 8 or 9 behind us. And I felt like, I was the president of the U.S. coming in and all this stuff they gave. But so kind of, don't get freaked out when you get there. They're not chasing you. They just, I think, like running around with their lights and sirens on. So, but they do that. So you'll arrive in Cairo, you'll go to your hotel, you'll overnight there. Then you're going to go to visit the museums. The Egyptian Museum of Antiquities is on the agenda, the itinerary already. If what we call the GEM, the Grand Egyptian Museum, opens by then, we'll be trying to get everybody into that. It's a spectacular new museum, but they've been opening it since 2019, and they haven't got it open yet officially to the public. So working on a different timeline than I'm used to. But that's where all the King Tut stuff is there at Antiquities Museum, and so you get to see that. And they're really particular about you taking pictures of his death mask, so don't do it. I just tell you ahead of time, don't do it. They don't like that at all. You go out to see the pyramids. I can't begin to, if you're not been, to describe the pyramids. They're spectacular. It's unbelievable how big they are, really, when you get there. I mean, the Sphinx, when we went to see the Sphinx, was well, I mean, it was marvelous. And you're sitting there with the pyramids in the background, but as you get closer and closer to the pyramids, you realize how big they are compared to that, and to think that they were the tips of the one was in gold and stuff, and the reflection. It must have been unbelievable, covered in marble with a gold tip. It must have been something. It's still awe-inspiring to think that they've done that. You'll spend a couple of days in Cairo. You'll get to do a felucca ride on the Nile, which is their little boat that they like to take you out in, that you see, and you'll get to see the reeds and stuff. So you can imagine, the baby in the little thing, Moses, that guy. You wouldn't know that I was educated at Emory, would you? That's really sad. So, but you get a sense of that. You'll see the Alabaster Mosque. That's pretty awesome. You'll get to go see the old city and stuff. So you'll spend a couple of days there in Cairo. Then the third day after you've gotten there, we'll fly you up to Istanbul, one of my favorite cities on earth. It still feels like you've stepped back into time in Istanbul for me. Constantinople, the city walls of old Constantinople are still there. You'll get to visit those. It's 450 mosques still in the city, so it's a very vibrant city. You'll be on the Bosphorus. As soon as you get there, you'll tour the city by bus. They'll maybe stop a couple of little places there. Then they'll take you to the ship. It's according to what time your flight gets there. You'll get on the Pursuit, and you'll spend the night docked in Istanbul, there on the Bosphorus. And one of the fun things, Brian, I tell you, go out and look at the Bosphorus and all the boat traffic. It's like motorcycles in Rome, dude. They're going to run over each other. It's really pretty amazing. But you'll enjoy that. You'll get to go to the Blue Mosque. You'll go to the Hagia Sophia, which is the largest church in Christendom for centuries. The Museum of the Byzantines. You go to the Spice Market, and you'll get to go to the city market there, which is, it's really pretty cool. It just gives you a sense of, you feel like you've really stepped back in time. When you leave, you'll leave that evening for Çanakkale, Turkey, which is Troas, or close to Troas and Troy. So this is where that Paul had the vision. He's called to Macedonia, and ends up in Thessaloniki. He spent a week preaching in Troas. So that's where, like so many of my folks, someone fell asleep while he was preaching. I'm always encouraged by that passage of scripture. And but he fell out of the window, of course, and then Paul resurrected him. I was never called upon to do that. So you get to go see Troy there. Then the next day, that evening you'll leave. Marvelous meal there while you're on the Pursuit. And then you'll go to Kusadasi, which is near Ephesus, Kusadasi, Turkey. Ephesus, you get to go see the library there. You'll see the houses there in Ephesus, and those are pretty cool.
I was blown away by Ephesus. That was, I thought that Ephesus was more impressive than anything I'd seen in Rome. It's really incredible what they've excavated there.
The amphitheater there and the terrace houses. The thing, Brian, those colors in those terrace houses are 2,000 years old still, and they're still that vibrant, and the mosaics. That's another one. When all that white marble that you're walking down there, that's pretty awesome. So I always enjoy that, and then the amphitheater, of course. But the picture you normally see of Ephesus, of course, is the library. So you'll go to Ephesus, then you'll set sail that night. You'll slip up to Bodrum, which is another famous port in Turkey. It's a small port, very small port. Excuse me, not a lot of ships call there. We don't have an excursion planned that day, but you'll have an opportunity to go to Miletus. And this is where Paul, if you remember, called the elders at Ephesus to come and talk to him, because he wasn't going back to Ephesus because they had run him out of town. He didn't want to go back. And so he went there and spoke to the elders there. Also, you can go see Didymus. That's where the oracle there was considered the second oracle to the one at Delphi, which is in Greece. And it's a pretty awesome, the temple there and the columns that are still standing. I'm just amazed how they did this. I mean, a single solid column that's, 70 feet high. And I'm thinking, how do we do that in ancient world? But they were able to do that. Then you're going to go over to Santorini a lot. That's a highlight for a lot of people, because Santorini is a beautiful island. The waters there are stunning. You're kind of on your own that day to do whatever you want to do. You're going to get off the ship. You're going to go over to you're going to have to take the tenders over. And when you get off the tenders, there's going to be two options. You can take the cable car up. They don't call it a cable car. They call it
like a gondola, I think is what they call it.
Yeah, it's like a gondola. Yeah. Or you can take the donkeys up. I encourage you to take the cable car up. The donkeys will try to rub you off the side of the wall, and when you get to the top, they smell like a donkey. But Santorini is gorgeous. Lots of great little restaurants there to sit and just look out over the caldera itself. There are lots of excursions there. They've got like 7 different color beaches. So there's the black beach, the red beach, the white beach. And so if you want to do some beach things, some of those have some little hideaway restaurants that you can zip out to and really enjoy. Great day on Santorini. That's one of the 2 ports that and Kusadasi, that when we pull into port and my wife is on the ship, they always celebrate because they know she's going to buy jewelry and all this sorts of stuff, because she just loves those little ports. You're going to leave Santorini. You're going to cruise over to Nephalio, which is where Corinth is. So you're going to get to see Corinth. You'll get to go to the Bema there where Paul preached. You'll see the museum there in Corinth. You'll see the Corinth Canal, which is world famous, and it's a stunning piece of art of work that they've done there to carve that channel through there, and it cut off weeks of travel back in ancient times. And so it's really a beautiful place there. Then you're going to go up to Piraeus, the port at Piraeus, which is where Athens is located. And you'll get to see ancient Athens, Mars Hill, the Acropolis, the Parthenon. I mean, it's a pretty awe-inspiring place itself. And each one of these you're doing during the day, and at night you're back on the pursuit with all your friends, and you're getting to hear Brian talk and inspire you and challenge you and lead you and guide you. And then after the cruise, it will end there in in Athens, and you'll get a chance to go to Rome or back home to the U.S. And so that's kind of the itinerary. Do you want me to tell you about Rome real quickly? I could do that. In Rome, you'll fly from Athens to Rome. You'll go to the catacombs, the Appian Way, Vatican. You'll see Christian Rome, so you go to St. Peter's Basilica, Sistine Chapel. Then you'll go through the Colosseum, the Forum, the Circus Maximus, Arca Titus. So lots of different things there too. So great trip. I mean, I wish I were going with you guys, because you're seeing some of my favorite places in the whole world.
That's super helpful, Tom. Stephanie, I know you've got another meeting. Is there anything you want to ask before you have to hop off?
Tom, how long is the post Rome? Do y'all know yet?
Yeah, it would leave. You'd leave Athens on the 20th, which would be the same day everybody else would leave to come to the U.S. and you would be in the Rome on the 20th, 21st, 22nd, and come home on the 23rd.
Okay.
So 4 days.
Okay. And when you were talking about the pre-Jordan trip, would that be about roughly the same amount of time?
Probably pre-Jordan would have to look and see, but that's pretty typical to see Petra and some of the places, Madaba, and some of the places people want to see in Jordan.
Great. Thank y'all. I appreciate it. Sounds really wonderful. Looking forward to it.
Thanks, Stephanie. Good to see you.
And Tom, I think you answered most of my questions earlier. We talked a little bit about if folks, for whatever reason, this is not that original itinerary, and so they want to back out. They'll get their money back apart from that small fee of $100
cancellation
like
fee,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, the cancellation fee. And we can communicate that to everybody. And we talked a little bit about there will be options for folks who want to upgrade flights or maybe even cabins, and they should let guest relations know that probably as soon as possible if that's something they're desiring to do.
Yeah, once they get registered, once they're officially registered, then guest services can help them go through that process, Brian. They could call and talk to any guest services representative, and they should be able to help them walk through that.
Well, this has been so helpful. I've told you since we got back in October that Azamara cruise to a lot of these same places, but getting to walk in the footsteps of Paul, but doing it in the comfort and really the fellowship that was engendered on the boat, and the service we received was just above and beyond. So when this option came up, it felt like a perfect replacement. We're all disappointed, and obviously we're all praying for our friends in Israel and Gaza, and ready for peace to reign in those places, and for the violence to cease. And I know a lot of people are so disappointed, as you said, about not being able to go to Israel, but this is really a wonderful way to walk in the footsteps of Paul and Moses. And Paul and Moses would have loved each other, and I'm sure they do. So it's a good fit.
Well, and when you go to Egypt, they will tell you the Holy Family was here. So you're walking in the footsteps of baby Jesus.
Yeah, that too.
There, and they take a lot of pride in that. There's a lot of Christian sites in Egypt that they will point out. And the Old Testament history in Egypt is phenomenal. When you really start to look and think about it, and how the influence it had on the Hebrew people as they formed. So yeah.
Well, I know you are super busy with a million other adjustments as y'all continue to be flexible and adaptive for the 4th year, it seems like, at EO. But we are so thankful for y'all's heart and for your service to us, and we're really excited about this opportunity in October. So thank you, Tom.
You're very welcome, Brian. Thank you. Look forward to it. Just let me know how I can help, okay? You guys have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
You too. Thanks, Tom.
Okay, see you, buddy. Bye-bye.